Well, hey guys, how's it going? It's so good to see you today. Today, we are talking about what everyone who loves Apple loves to talk about because if you're looking at, across the board, why do people choose Apple products? It is because of their ecosystem. First and foremost, my absolute favorite Apple product that they have ever created, it is the AirPod Pro 3. Now, I do find the AirPod Pros 2 a little bit more comfortable than the 3s, but my wife took my Pro 2s, so I am here with the Pro 3s. They don't sound as good. They're a little bit more uncomfortable. The noise cancellation is awesome on these guys, and the battery life on these lasts absolutely forever. I love that about them. I use them every single night. I have a really hard time sleeping, and so I will listen to, audiobooks while I'm trying to sleep. I'm probably up for about an hour or two every single night listening to these guys. If this product broke, this would be the first thing tomorrow morning. I would go to the Apple store and I would get another set of these because I find them absolutely the single most helpful product that I have because I use phone calls, I listen to audiobooks all the time, so I learn from these all the time. There is just so many good things about the AirPods Pro 3s. Now, I did say this in my video. If you have the 2s, don't upgrade. If you have the 1s, you may want to upgrade to the 3s. But if you want to just save the money, go with the 2s because the 2s are absolutely fantastic. But man, I have just found these absolutely incredible. One of the things I really like about these is just how insane the noise cancellation is on these guys. I mean, it is wild how much it can block out. Like I said, battery life is great, so I will charge these probably once every 3 days, and like I said, I'm a very heavy user of the AirPod Pros 3s. So I think you should get them. I'm going to put a link below for all the stuff we talk about today. But in my 2026 setup, that's the first thing. The next thing is this. My phone. Which cell phone am I going to be using? This might not be a surprise to you guys, but the 17 Pro Max is an absolute gangster of a phone. It is very large though, and I know a lot of people say it looks like a big brick and it's ugly. I like this deep blue. I have found that great. The screen on this guy is absolutely, man, I love seeing memories of past stuff. If you're dad or, if you're dad out there, you'll know what that feels like. That's my son when he first was riding bikes with my wife. That's awesome. So I have enjoyed this phone. I haven't had it overheat at all, which has been great. The cameras are incredible on this guy. I still don't use the telephoto lens more than once or twice so far. So for me, the 17 regular one would still be a great phone. The screen on this is absolutely gorgeous. It's got the ProMotion display, but it is inky, dark, beautiful black. It is colorful. It is vibrant. Was it 3,000 nits of brightness? Don't quote me on that right now. But it is absolutely like the most gorgeous phone I've ever had. I do personally wish I would have went with the Pro instead of the Pro Max, but having a tech channel makes you feel like you got to get the biggest and best. I just think that size savings for me would have been really important. Now, the case I'm using this year is the ESR case. They did not sponsor this video, but man, I have been super impressed with it. Right now on my phone, I'm using an all ESR setup, so I've got the ESR case. I've got the screen protector, which this is the first time literally ever in my life I've kept a screen protector on my phone, so it's super responsive, which is crazy. Like every time you touch it, it inputs. Sometimes with other screen protectors, it doesn't. Every time you touch it, it doesn't register the touch. That's frustrating. But here's the thing I like the most about this ESR system. Again, this is not sponsored. This is literally just my thoughts of what I have their wallet. Bro, this thing it is tight on there. I use it like this all the time. Let's see if I can get a good. I use it like this all the time. If I'm watching videos, I'll clip it on the side. If I were you for Black Friday, I'd pick one of these guys up. So again, I don't know how to say this too many times. It's not sponsored at all, but I really like it. So that's the 17 Pro Max. Next, we're going to talk about what I use as an actual computing device every day, the MacBook Pro M3 Max. Now I know as a tech channel, I'm supposed to upgrade all the time every year, but the M3 Max has been phenomenal. It has not had any issues at all. Like I throw everything at it and it just has not even slowed down for half a second. So I don't feel like upgrading my Mac right now. It's got 48 gigs of RAM. It's got 4 terabyte SSD. That's the other reason why I don't want to upgrade anything because, bro, that SSD, that's expensive. So I bought once, a couple years ago, and I'm going to cry on this guy until I have to replace it. Now, I do think that's one of the beautiful things about a MacBook is how long it lasts. And so if you want to save money, you could go back to the M3 Pro. I have seen people run whole channels off of the original M1 Mac Mini. They are fantastic. You can save a ton of money, but for me, for my 2026 Apple ecosystem, the M3 Max MacBook Pro, I do all my video editing, photo editing, every single thing I do is on this device. All right, next up, let's talk about my iPads. Which iPads am I gonna be using in 2026? I have two very, very specific iPad use cases. The first one is all of my digital reading I do on an iPad. I do prefer regular books, but if I'm going to, if I travel, I'm not taking a whole bunch of books with me. I love having a handheld size thing. It's literally the size of a book, which is fantastic. You can hold it in one hand, as you see I'm doing right now. The iPad mini is my reading device. I use it every single morning for my Bible reading plan, so I will read my Bible on this. Sometimes, I like the Logos app a lot because you can take a lot of notes and you can study a lot with it. So I'm using my iPad mini every single morning as my reading device. Now, when it comes to, this is first world thing, I understand that. I read a lot on my iPad mini, but I produce a lot of content on my iPad Pro. I don't know if I mentioned this is the A17 Pro iPad mini. It's fantastic. I cannot wait for Apple to release a new iPad mini. Hopefully they put 120 hertz refresh rate into the new iPad. That would be amazing. And then for the device that I do most of my writing on, it is the M5 iPad Pro. That's the one I'm taking into 2026. However, I will say this, the M5 iPad Pro is awesome, but I don't notice any difference at all between the M5 iPad Pro and the M4 iPad Pro because I'm not doing a lot of editing, like video editing on this. I am doing all of my writing on this guy. My favorite app in the world is the Ulysses app. So I write all of my sermons in here, every article, every blog post, every video. I write this word for word on my iPad Pro, primarily because this keyboard is absolutely fantastic to write on. I absolutely love the key travel. It doesn't have a ton of sound, but I like the kind of thunky little bit sound that you get out of it. The 11-inch is not too small. I've heard a lot of people say that the 11-inch iPad Pro keyboard or the Magic Keyboard is too small. It's just right for me. I love taking this guy into a coffee shop and, just getting down to work. It's just so much fun. Now, the M5 chip in this guy, it is a great chip. Like, you can fully video edit on this guy. You can do all your photo editing, all that kind of stuff. That's just not what I use an iPad for. I understand I could do all this stuff with my iPad Air. If I have to have it, if I have to run a YouTube channel, I'm gonna get the latest and greatest because that's what the people want. However, so I will say this, if you get an iPad, I think an absolutely mandatory accessory is the Magic Keyboard. It is just so good, so sleek. It is absolutely just gorgeous. And what's really nice is not only do you get the ability to have a port here, when you flip this guy around, right here you get another port, so you can have it on both sides of your iPad. That's a big deal. Whenever you go to a coffee shop, sometimes you don't have a full, wherever the outlet is, you got to charge from there. So sometimes it's nice to not have to go a whole extra 7 or 8 inches around to the side. I do say this in all of my videos about the M5 iPad Pro, or anybody that I'm talking about this keyboard case, you do have to watch out for the hinge on the keyboard case. Don't put this in with your MacBook into your backpack. It is going to scratch it up, so just be aware of that. It needs to be in its own pouch. So that's my 2026 Apple ecosystem. Let me know what you think of my ecosystem. Tell me what yours is, and we're going to be talking about a budget Apple ecosystem, like the best bang for buck Apple ecosystem, so I want you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that. Like this video if you found it enjoyable and helpful. Sub to the channel. We're on our way to 20,000. I'll see y'all in the next one.